Hi, everybody. Welcome to North of Sanity with myself, Steve, and my guest, Larry Bayeh.
Woo!
Woo! He is a comedian out of New York City. His
Yo,
his own podcast, Let's Get Loud.
you gotta sing it. You gotta sing it. You gotta sing it. You gotta
Let's
sing
get loud.
And you gotta give them the background story behind your singing.
We will talk about that after. As people can already probably tell, Larry's got amazing energy, even like over the fucking internet.
Yeah.
We've been chatting back and forth now for a while, and I'm really happy to have you on the show. Why don't you give people some of your background?
Okay, my background is I try to get people to sing in an Indian voice, J-Lo.
I'm too sassy for that.
And I told him his stuttering would never be again. It would be cured if he walked around talking like that. you gotta sing the song for them. You have to sing the song for them.
if I had a Patreon, maybe.
Yeah. All right. So it's so funny because they wiped my memory from birth. I have no recollection of my birth. You know what I'm saying? So like when people say, where you from? I can neither confirm nor deny what they told me because I don't remember that date. So that's the part of my story where I go on instinct, and say, okay, I trust the people. But the thing is that, I'm Italian, I'm Black, I'm Native American. And it's a lot of different things in me. And I've got the experience of knowing all of those things growing up. I got well-versed with my Italian side, my Black side, and my Native American side throughout the summers, throughout just, staying with the different family members and being introduced to a world of violence and everything. We talk about PTSD and how you always talking about, the military. Well, you see, there was a me before the military that was so PTSD that the military was a break from the PTSD. Then after the military was more PTSD. And the irony is in the middle, there was a war. And that was the easy part.
Holy shit, dude.
And it's only because I was in the most elite force that we have, the United States Air Force. And the thing is, I always say it like that because somebody like you will go, yeah, and he was in the Army. Like, no,
maybe that was from our phone call earlier. I'm from Canada, man. Like we don't really have anything, so.
Yeah, and it's so, but that was my break during those years, during the war years, was my break because growing up like Italian and Black and Native American, there's a lot of shit that goes along, especially when you grow up in a family like my family, and you get the documentary from birth, as to what the family is and what the roles of different people in the family is and everything like that. You see a lot of things in your peripheral, and you're watching things. You're watching different type of hustles and crime and death. Like I saw my first death at 9 years old.
Holy shit.
So don't tell. So when they say, the PTSD from fucking the military, trust me, The military was light compared to what I saw in my formative years. And then just the rackets and the hustles you get into, and then just finding the normalcy in that with the rest of the friends and family that's in that lifestyle or whatever.
So quick question: was that on both sides, or all three sides of your family?
I would say all three. Yes, I fucking would. Everybody had a fucking hustle. The Italians have a hustle. The Blacks have a hustle. The Native Americans got a hustle, and it's an organized hustle. And it's like, oh my God! Then you pull back and you see the syndicate that it's running through. You see all the components and all the parts, and you go, get the fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? And then you stop thinking about morality. Because you go, it's such a fucking cognitive dissonance with what we say we believe in on any of the families and what we're actually doing. But I see the justification in all of it. I saw that, growing up. But then also the violence. There was a lot of violence for me growing up, seeing it, witnessing it, being the cause of it, and, you just look at it and you go, wow. That person just doesn't exist anymore. But that's what the thing that used to get me was, because in all cultures that I have, this is like this no snitching
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and I look at all of them, and that's what brought them all down. Snitching, you fucks. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, you know, I thought we wasn't supposed to be telling, oh, what's Sammy the Bull doing over there? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They said God, he brought that family down. No, Bull did. They
Yeah.
had him. What the fuck? You know, and then black people, they be like, oh, no snitching. But you ever watch the first 48? Come
Oh
on.
yeah. Yeah.
Somebody's always goddamn snitching. I'm
Yeah.
like, y'all motherfuckers don't believe this shit. But that's what but I'm so about that code of no snitching. I'm old school. I'm like,
I,
because go ahead.
I think that's an age thing. Like how old are you?
Okay. I was born
You sound like a woman.
in the decade of the 60s.
Okay. I'm a 44. So like I understand where you're coming from though. It's like growing up pre-internet and cell phones and all and all that, like we just didn't uh, uh, we didn't need that. Hey, everyone on Twitter and Instagram, look at me, and then go and tell everybody. But now it seems like everyone needs that dopamine hit of this.
And it is. It's a hit. It's a drug. Just okay. Like I found the cure for my, PTSD period in life. You know, I found it early in life. It's pussy. And the thing is that that becomes a drug because that's when you're feeling so at calm and peace and a lot of things, you know, and just a lot of the euphoria and the dopamine that comes along with that. However, when you look at like people now, they have to be on the screen. And being on the screen subjects you to saying things that can incriminate someone else or saying things that can, you know, help people put pieces to the puzzle together in a lot of different things. You know, like for me, example, you know, that my name is not my birth name. You know, there's no me that was born with this name. And if you look it up, you'll see court documents. But that's when I put all the pieces to the puzzle together. Like, oh, court documents can be created to say you're something that you. Oh, okay. Now I understand what we're doing. Because when we had to come here, and so and under the conditions that we had to come here, you know. So I looked at it like, okay, now I understand life, and then you start becoming a part of a friendship bond, a community, you know, and the rest of the world and the outside community really isn't a part of your community. You're in it, you know, because there's something else going on in your cousins and your uncles, you know, your uncles, your uncles, you know, and then you say, well, okay, then you're introduced to this person. You go, it's actually, let me tell you something. It's tiring being Italian. It really is. It's because you gotta go to
big ass families.
Yeah, you gotta meet so many people. You gotta know the respect and the this and that, you know, and it was just cool. I was in meetings today. I was on a phone call yesterday. I got a meeting tomorrow. It's like you always got to go here to just sit because I've always been blessed. The universe has always blessed me with Italian family along the way as well. You know what I'm saying? Because someone knows someone that went to school or bartended with your uncle or something like that, you know, and so or did something. So you're like, oh, okay, so now go over here. And then when you're over here, you still got to be an earner. Yeah. and it's so funny because my escape became being a comedian from all that other stuff. Like it's a world, it's such a world of shit that I've gone through and seen and done that comedy is the only place. That's why it takes 2 hours to hear my show. Like if you see me on stage for 2 hours, as opposed to the microwave comedy when people go on stage and do like 10 minutes or whatever like that, you gotta hear the 2-minute, you know, story and stories and fun. Oh my God, because everybody goes like, that's what's so fucking interesting to me. Because once you get past the light comedy, hey, where you from? Or I did this and da. Then you start to get into the who you are or whatever. And I think that's the world that my PTSD has been able to take a break from. You know, like because it's there. it's from 9 years old. I would say even earlier. Because I fell out of a car when I was like 5. I fell on my.
That's got to be the native Indian side.
Yeah, it's definitely on my mom's side. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if the black side pushed me or the Native American pushed me, but one of them motherfuckers pushed me out of the car on my head in the middle of a time where you saw a body in the street or on the dirt road or whatever like that. You know, and it's so funny because it's like you just feel like, oh, this is what life is about. This is a bunch of tumbles and people falling and you falling and loud noises and you don't never get a grip because somebody or something's always hitting you in the head, you know.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, this is one of these worlds where you say the wrong thing, you get whacked upside the head. This one is where you can fall down and you bump your head, or icicle could be hanging and hit you in the head. Something is always protect your head or whatever. And everybody's always angry. Everybody's like, the Native Americans were the more peaceful ones to a certain extent. I'm not gonna give it all, but no, because my mother's mom is very extremely peaceful, but she will wring a chicken's neck or will wring a duck's neck. You know what I'm saying? Like would grab it, you know. So I'm like, this woman is the most violent because then she would take the knife and, you know, but the thing is that, you know, it was so much love and growing up that's what helped me get over the PTSD too, is you just go back to times. You have slices in your life when, you know, your Nona was sitting up there, you know, and making it literally from scratch. Like I grabbed a duck or a chicken and killed it, and you're eating that tonight, or I picked it out of the garden or whatever, you know, the tomatoes that I grew or something like that, or the sauce that I made or something like that. So you're like, okay, so when you have those slices to go back to, everything can be cured because whatever happened to me in a lot of different situations, you know, there were times that people had done things to me and when I was young, and the next thing you know, that kid wasn't living anymore, or he was in a body cast. I was like, whoa, what the fuck is going on? What the fuck is going on? You know, and then but it's so funny when you look at stuff like that, but you go, okay, but I still have slices of nice stuff. You know, I have a Nona who, you know, can make things from scratch. And I have another one that can make things from scratch, but they want lottery numbers from you.
So do I.
Exactly.
I don't know. That's probably my native side too, right? Like it could be my Irish side or my Greek side. I don't know, but
and that's another thing too, because see, being able to travel when I was young, I was able to learn about Greeks and Irish and all these different people. And plus, I had so many friends that wasn't just Italian or Black or Native American. So I was able to see all those different things. So then when you start to travel, you start to say, oh, I know the three that I have in me are all the same. And then you start to see some similarities in other groups like Irish or, you know, Spanish people, you know, and you go, they have similar family structures and values and stuff like that. Then you start to say, oh, we're all the same. And then that's when you go, oh, so everybody goes through shit. And then everybody has some sameness too, and family too, and things they're prideful about and love and everything like that. So that's when I started seeing like, oh, okay, so don't go around just bitching about your PTSD or bitching about this or whatever.
I think that's a key point though, is like with my PTSD, like a lot of it's blacked out, but I can feel it, right? And
you can feel it like when you sing it like J-Lo and you're an Indian J-Lo.
That's right. You wait until Saturday and see me all dressed up. It's awesome.
You know what? With J-Lo, you don't have to get in a dress. You can put some pants on. She wears jeans.
That's a new pair today.
Exactly. You just have to hit the falsetto like she does.
Yeah. I'll keep
yeah. No, but, sing in harmony with her. Just sing in harmony with her.
Oh yeah.
like A-Rod does. Yo, yeah. You know what I found out? And this is so digress. I saw a picture of J-Lo with Mark Anthony when they were married, and she was being introduced to A-Rod. That cracked me the fuck up. You see Mark Anthony and J-Lo standing there, and J-Lo's meeting A-Rod for the first time.
She's sopping wet.
Yeah, she was sopping wet. She was like, okay, I'm out. I'm the fuck out.
Bye.
Yeah, he meant fuck the Yankees over, but he'll.
Good. Fuck the Yankees.
Yeah. Oh my God, no, yo. I guess I got to say that too because ever since Steinbrenner died, we've had a couple championships since then, but it hasn't been the same. And Jeter's the last thing that I'm really proud for. I'm a Yankee Nation since Reggie Jackson. Who were yours?
Canada, baby. It's the Blue Jays.
Oh, the fucking Blue Jays. I remember when the Blue Jays beat Philly for the World Series. Joe Carter.
Yeah, touch them all, Joe.
Touch them all. I was like, damn. And they had Wild Thing on the mound.
Yeah.
And I was in South Philly, and doing my hustles and everything like that, but basically get my life together because I was in graduate school, I believe at the time, my second graduate school. So throughout my course, that's also another thing that's helped me too. Me being highly educated and being intelligent, meaning intelligence to me is having the patience to listen to somebody and understand and learn something. And so I've done that my whole life, especially starting with my dad. And then in school, I used to love the stories that the teachers would tell. Like my history teacher, Mr. Stavopoulos, he would tell stories about American history and stuff like that. It's just, I was new to the country. I was like, yo, this is fascinating shit, but that learning and I learned math that way. And I learned anything that I learned, I just learned by listening over and over and over to it until I know it. And, but the thing is that I think that's what it was when I was in graduate school back in South Philly during that time when the Blue Jays, just Joe Carter was just like, going around the base and wow. I was like, why would you put fucking Wild Thing? Why would you fucking put Wild Thing? He's like, that's what we do every game. Nigga, this is the World fucking Series. A regular game, maybe 52 games into the season. Wild Thing, okay, cool, because he's under contract. But this is the fucking World Series. Shit.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, so then I was like, but I was in graduate school at the time, at Temple University. And then, so I think that I've always immersed myself into knowing what I don't know. And that takes so much time. You don't have to focus on the PTSD.
And it takes, I don't want to say courage, but it takes that thing to go, hey, I don't know how to do X, or I want to learn about Y. And go,
yeah.
And instead of just going, I wish I knew about this or that. Like, I'm going to go learn about this or that.
So we had to take, when I was at my first graduate school, we had to take a musical theater history course, and as an elective, but we had to take it. So it's a 2-part course, first semester, second semester. And I was in there for the first day. And of all the things that I know in life, see, I believe that people can be savants in a lot of things because they've immersed themselves into it, or they were born into it, or they learned it, growing up in their formative years or whatever, or they could just learn it later because they have that capability of that level of learning. So I didn't knew nothing about musical theater history at all. I knew so much about, the transcontinental slave trade. I knew everything about flour going from different continents and different things like that. I knew everything about, murder and different things, but I did not know musical theater history. So I was like, let me learn it. But I went to the library because we were in class one day, and all the kids, in the class, we're just naming it. Just name it No Nanette, naming all these music, Rodgers and Hammerstein, and all these different things they would just name. And I was like, and I stopped the class. I said, excuse me, stop. I said, excuse me, professor. I just want to know something. Where did y'all learn all this stuff at? Like, where would my point of reference have been to be able to know this knowledge? Like, y'all spit it off the top of your head. So then I went to the library every night, and I'm in a graduate program, so that's already, a grueling program. But I took extra time to go to the library to learn musical theater history. I listened to all the records. I read all about it from before Showboat and after Showboat. I learned about, what operettas were. I learned what it was about, when why they divide everything before and after Showboat, because, that's when they married the book, to the script or whatever like that, as opposed to a song just being written and thrown in. I started learning shit like that, right? Yeah. But it became fascinating. So I didn't have time to worry about PTSD because I had to catch up. You know, even though I had just left a war, you know, finished an undergraduate degree, killed many people, did the PTSD, got my money for college, whatever like that. Even though I was in age older than, okay, because in graduate school, see, undergraduate school, I was older than all the students my year, freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior. Because when I came in at Morehouse College, my undergraduate, I was friends with Enos Cosby because, you know, he was a senior at the time and I was a freshman, but we were the same age. So I couldn't hang out with the freshmen that, you know, I was like, these pussies just, their mothers was making their beds for them. You know, and I just got out the military killing people. You know what I'm saying? We had nothing in common anymore. No. And so, and plus I never was raised like that anyway, where your mom would make up your bed. But the thing is that, so what happened was I would go in graduate school, your age range is like the kind of like, you'll be a little older students that enter your program. So you're not necessarily older than everybody, but I tended to be of the older ones in the graduate programs. So I had to catch up to wherever they were in life as far as like things that they knew and this academia stuff, because I spent 4 years out of the, you know, the civilian population in the military. And because when the military takes you, the reason they call you a GI, because you are government issued. So when they, you say singing the GI blues, because they have stripped you of your civilian rights and made you government issued. Now that's why you don't go by the law of the civilian law like the regular courts do. You go by the Uniform Code of Military Justice, you know, and there's so many intricate things they do to take you out of society and then put you back into society, because it wasn't until after I left the war that I got shot in the head in Atlanta, you know, in my first undergraduate program. And that was the first time I got shot. The second time I got shot.
Okay, let's slow the fuck down a second.
Exactly. So, but that's what I'm saying. It's so much prior to that I was already fucked up about. That's why I can gloss over those years, because I was like, oh, that was like doing bedtime.
All right, let's gonna read you a little bedtime story of Larry. Childhood, holy fuck. Military, oh, this is good. Graduate school, shot in the fucking head.
Yo, and let me tell you something. I got
That's the prologue.
Trust me, I got shot in the head sophomore year, November 17th, 1992 at 11:47 p.m. on Peachtree Street in Atlanta, Georgia. They took me to Grady Memorial Hospital. Let me tell you something about Grady Memorial Hospital. They have the best recovery, where you're like a burn victim or anything like that, that's really a trauma. They got the #1 trauma unit. They have the worst ambulance service you ever want to fucking meet, because they sent out an ambulance for me, and the dude couldn't get the IV in my arm, and because he couldn't get you know what I'm saying. So he radioed up to the front and said he couldn't get it out of my arm. The guy who was driving the ambulance pulled the ambulance over to the side of the road. He then came into the back. He was putting the IV in my arm. And I'm sitting up here going, motherfucker, drive. You need to fucking drive, the one who was just looking. I was like, we got somewhere to be, you know?
So you're still like awake and you can see what's going on?
Let me tell you something. I had glass in my eyes. Blood was just pouring all down my face, because when I was in the car, somebody rolled past the car on the back of a motorcycle and pumped a shot into my car. Boom. So it hit me in the head, and I thought a telephone pole had fell on the car and hit me in the head. That's the only thing that I could justify how something hit me that hard. So when I looked over to see if a telephone pole had falling on the car, because that was my delivery of what was happening. Like in that moment, you're trying to scramble. Your brain is trying to make sense of all of this. Like, what the fuck could that have been? So in that little scrambling, I looked up to see if a telephone pole hit me. All this blood starts squirting from my head over to the passenger door, and that's when I knew I was fucked up. And that's why I put like two and two together. Then my mind went back in the military mode, and I jumped out the car and ran back into the place that I was in, and the car shielded me from being hit by the cars that was coming down on the street, because they were swerving to miss that car, and I was on the other side of the car. Ooh. So That's what good military. That's what excellent United States military training will do for you. It will make you a warrior under fire. You do not lose your head. You make sure
When you're shot in the head.
when you're shot in the head, that's the one thing. Yeah, exactly. That should be the slogan.
I was thinking that. When you get shot in the fucking head in Atlanta, you won't lose your fucking head in Atlanta.
Exactly.
By Larry Bayeh.
Exactly. You know, and that was the thing. I was like on all streets, Peachtree Street. You know,
That's
and I was like,
there's a TV station here called Peachtree out of Atlanta, and it's like I don't know if it's the States. Is it?
It's the okay. That's the peach. That's the peach state. Georgia is the peach state.
Yeah, but there's a TV station in Canada called Peachtree State, and it's all old like classic TV shows.
Yeah, frankly, Scarlett, I don't give a damn.
Yeah. Sorry, I derailed the fucking you. Sorry.
You know, but that was the whole thing. So I'm on Peachtree Street, getting shot. There was no peaches on that street. There's a bunch of black people with bullets. You know, and people. Okay, I talk about both sides of my family being like the Italian and black side. As far as fighting, that doesn't say that my Native American family don't fight, because they do fight, but they're the more peaceful of the ones. But they do fight. But the thing is that I talk about the difference between my black crime side and my Italian crime side. You know, because they both steal, but the Italians have a better system at it. You know, I've always felt like that. Like, you know, they take care into making sure you at least attempt to get away with it. But now everybody's snitching. Black people just walk in the fucking store. We know it's you. You know, the only big motherfucker in the neighborhood, it's you. You got a ski mask over here. We know it's still you. You fucking idiot. I remember one time I was in a store in Brooklyn, and a guy came in to rob the store. And he came in, he was like, everybody on the floor. But I was like, dog, I got somewhere to be. I said, hey, listen, you keep on going what you're doing. I have somewhere to be, dog. I'm not snitching. Like, I just have somewhere to be. Because I had somewhere to fucking be.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I had a show to get to. When you're trying to get to a show in New York, and that's how important I feel about shows. I won't let nobody stop me from doing shit. Like, yo, I ain't got time for your robbery.
I'm getting up. I have stage time at the fucking stand. Yeah, let's go.
Exactly. It's so many comics in New York. Somebody would easily want to step into your shoes and can't feel it. And you know what I'm saying? Then you feel like you did the show a disservice. but the thing is that that's what like I have done with PTSD. I didn't. Okay. We used to do this exercise when I was growing up. They would send us into the room, right? And they would tell us to identify all. They would take us outside the room. They would go and say, when you go in the room, we want you to identify all the green things in this room. And he's like, you go in there, you just look, and you point out all the green things. There's a green, like, little rug over here. It's a green jacket. It's a green notebook, or whatever. You just point out a green pencil, whatever, like that. And then you leave the room. And then when you leave the room, they say, okay, can you tell us all the purple things that were in that room? And you're like, what? You told me to focus on the green things. And come to find out there were more purple things in the room than green things. And we couldn't identify maybe one or two purple things. You know what I'm saying? But we had, our list was ready to list all the green things. And that's what PTSD, that's how I dealt with PTSD. I said, there are more good things happening in my life and for my life. I'd rather focus on those things. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's what I always did, because it's so funny, because there are times I look and I say, I have nothing to fucking be sad about in this life. I won this life from the beginning, the family I was born into. You know what I'm saying? Like, I won. Like, I'll never have to get a job or do anything. But the thing is that I do get jobs and I do work and I do all these different things, but it's like I've never had to do that because the family is so well taken care of. And it's like, you look at you, so it's like, okay, so some things happened to me in life. Okay, I had to kill some people. Some people shot at me. Okay, it's so funny. It's so funny. Just when I was getting over being shot the first time. No, let's take it back. Just when I was getting over being in the military and having to see my friends get killed and have to kill people and stuff like that. Just when I got over that, I got shot in the head. So then just when I got over, like, took 2 or 3 years to get over that, Then I got shot here in the abdomen, and it came out my ass. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, so the thing is the bullet will travel. That was a fucking magic bullet. So the thing is that, you know, you like, wow, this world is fucked up. But still I'm winning, like still, like even with all of that, like I took L's, yes I did. There was times that like the PTSD would fuck you up with girls, man, like coming out of the military, you're so fucked up. You miss a lot of girlfriends. Girls leave you over small shit. They tell you to choke them during sex, and then when you choke them, it was too much, and now you got a restraining order. Fuck you. You knew I would have PTSD, bitch. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that. And then like when I got shot the second time, I had to learn how to walk again. Yes, I was with a cane because it came in here, it ricocheted off my hip bone. And then so that whole side was like, up here, I had to get plastic surgery right here. Let me tell you something. It was so fucked up when I got shot right here that I had to, my mother, you know, when your mother tell you, I'm not telling you what to do.
You don't even need to finish that. You don't even need to finish that. But you fucking ugly.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God. Yo, she broke it down just like that. You would always get tough love from women like that in my family. I'm not telling you what to do.
But you're never getting laid again ever.
Never. And I was doing numbers. I was doing numbers out of high school. When I say I was doing numbers laying chicks, I was doing numbers in high school. Because once I found out how to coexist with a woman, like you have to coexist with them like a yin and a yang. Yeah. That's how you get laid. Like you don't listen to what they say, but you hear it. You know what I'm saying? Because if you listen to it, they'll suck you into the conversation, and whatever they were mad at, it ends up being you. They're mad at you because you listened to the conversation, and then you took sides in the conversation, or you confirmed something. It's like right, and then you're like, oh shit. But it's like you only hear enough just to keep the conversation going, so you can get it out of your system. And when I perfected that when I was in fucking high school, oh my fucking God. Oh my God! I was doing cheerleaders. I was meeting chicks on the side of the bleachers in our basketball room. I was doing numbers, and then I went to the military. I was doing so good numbers before I went to the military. Then I went to the military. You put that uniform on, girls will fuck you. Oh, you don't have to say it. You could drop your ID card. They'll pick it up for you. Excuse me, you dropped this.
They'll drop on their knees.
Exactly. And these girls aren't loyal. Nobody's loyal in the military. I've seen death in the military over some people. Somebody's fucking somebody else's wife. You know what I'm saying? Like I was always surrounded my whole life about death. So it was like, one of those things. But like I was just doing so many numbers. Then I got out of the military and then went to college. Oh my God. Talking about PTSD. Fuck, that pussy has been the cure. You know what I'm saying? And it's like some people are like, well, what about cocaine? You do cocaine to stop your pussy cravings. You know what I'm saying? Curb your pussy. Because it's like I can't fuck them all tonight. You know what I'm saying?
All right. So you're talking to a cocaine addict who hasn't been laid for like a year.
Yeah. You're overdosed. You're over-medicating.
Yes, medicated.
You need to find a balance because see, like it's like I said with the yin and the yang, you have to get the pussy to balance it off, but then you can get too much. But see, I've heard some dumb shit in this lifetime. I heard somebody say, well, you can get too much pussy and you end up being gay. Get the fuck out of here. That is some bull. Get the fuck out of here. I was like, that is a bull.
Goddamn Alex Jones.
Yeah, I was like, that's a bold-faced fucking lie. But that's how people justify their gayness, I guess, whatever like that. Well, you get so bored from the pussy. I've never in this lifetime got bored with some pussy.
I wish I could get that bored.
Yeah, but the thing, I've had to take a break, and then that's when you do the coke to come down from that because it'll stop your libido right quick. You be like, oh, okay, this is medicine.
Please
now
stop.
I see.
Please stop. You're talking to an addict who's only 9 months clean about his favorite fucking thing in the world.
Yeah,
stop.
Quitters never win.
Fuck you.
Do you think Tom Brady would have won 7 had he quit cheating? No. I don't call it cheating. I call him the most motivated person to win.
That's why you're a fucking Yankees fan.
You goddamn right. Steinbrenner bought the best fucking player. Let me tell you something. And you know this, and everybody out here know this. When you spend your time being a fan of an organization, you want to walk away from that relationship that y'all had that evening when you decided to give unarrested attention. You know what I'm saying? Arrested attention to them, to watch them. You want at the end of that a payoff. And then you want that payoff to be good. I feel good. You don't want to be throwing shit in the room. You don't want, and let me say something in Philly. Every time the Eagles would lose in Philly, they said the domestic abuse rates went up.
Philly fucking trash.
Exactly. And let me say, and I was in Philly and I was like, Philly, I swear to God, I believe every fan in Philly, their life has been taken off just a few years watching the Eagles because they'll be up there winning, and the next thing you know, they'll find a way to lose. And there's certain organizations around the league, like the Browns, the Jets, all these other organizations we can name or whatever, the Mets, clearly the Knicks, and all these other different people. That their teams are sorry, will always be sorry. Maybe they had some flash years or whatever, but they're professional farm teams. And I don't have time to sit and root for a professional farm team. You know what I have time to root for? That guy, George Steinbrenner, who says, you know what? I'm buying this best player. I'm buying that best player, and I'm buying that best player. And guess what we're going to do? We're going to Harlem Globetrot this whole league.
Yeah, no, I'm happy this year because they Blue Jays finally have a good fucking team.
Yeah, and see, and that's what it is. You like okay, I've gone beyond the fandom. I think Tom Brady was my last, hurrah for the sport. Like, but I'm Italian. I'm gonna hedge my bet. I did bet against them, but I did want them to win because I took the odds. The odds were, one of those things where you go, okay, I want him to win it, but I don't want to be pissed if they pull another.
Yeah, and because I was in Cuba, and I'm a Seahawks fan.
Yeah,
I was in Cuba, surrounded by fucking French fucking assholes, all Patriots fans.
All Patriots fans.
And it's the Seahawks Patriots, and the Seahawks were down all game, and they came back in the second half like they always do on the 1 yard line, about to score the game-winning touchdown. I am drunk and I'm stripping down naked. I'm about to hop on that bar and just let my dick fly around naked and start swearing in French.
Exactly.
And then they throw the ball.
And that's when I knew they cheated. I was like, listen, I'm a Patriots fan, and I know they cheat. I knew they cheated, and because that's always been my philosophy. If you want my attention, then you better win.
One of my best friends is Italian.
Yeah.
He's a school teacher, and that's his fucking philosophy too.
Yeah. If you
ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
You ain't trying. And listen, you ain't winning. Because the thing is that, listen, we know that there are people, but I even look back at history because my family was also into the boxing and everything like that. And I saw the shady side of the boxing industry. Anybody who thinks Muhammad Ali actually hit him with a phantom punch, you out your fucking mind. And anybody that thinks that, and I'm not saying that he would have beat him or wouldn't have beat him. I'm not saying that. I'm saying the fact that he didn't get off the stool and in that round, he was told not to get the fuck off the stool. So I understand how life really fucking works. Yeah. So knowing that from my formative years, I couldn't be naive and think Santa Claus was going to deliver me a victory. Yeah. I knew somebody was paid off to deliver me a victory, Yeah. And so that's what I look at with fans. I say it's a shame that everybody doesn't know how the game really works because they give their heart and emotion to these teams or whatever like that. And I said, well, Brady will be the last one that I will ride out with. And I'm a big sports fan, play sports a lot. But I was like, because these young kids, I can't get into them. Like, I'll see them, but I mean, it's like, are you even playing what we call basketball?
Oh, yeah, like I'm a Raptors fan, but all this, I don't want to get in there right
now. Yeah. Well, we definitely agree with that one.
Yeah. Anyways, I gotta go pick up my dog soon.
Where's your dog?
Up at a neighbor's house.
Okay.
He wouldn't sit still through all this. And
And you know, it's so funny. I know he's like, no, just stay on down. I'm having a good time over here. I'm having a good. These people feed me more.
oh, yeah. But I wanted to thank you, but
Yeah,
also
thank you.
Evil Sam on Twitter.
Yeah,
We both love Evil Sam.
yeah, I love that dude. That dude is that dude is the shit.
Yeah, man.
Him and Torelli for me, like
Yeah.
they create wonders. Like the worlds that they create, it's just all about fun. And you're so excited to share them. You're so excited to like pitch them ideas or whatever like that. Say, hey, can you do this or whatever? Like, oh, when they surprise you and do something. That's really what fuck. Yeah, and then you're like, I got to share. So I got a big shout out to him.
Yeah,
and both of them.
Yeah, but like for me, like Evil Sam's been helping me on the background for a month and a half now. He's setting everyone up. So I wanted to say thank you to him. And this has been great. I'd love to have you back on again. And
okay, cool. Wherever we can do it. Listen, all you have to do is call me.
Yeah,
I'll be walking down the street. I may be getting some pussy. I'll still talk to you.
Send me pics. I haven't seen you for a while. All right, man. Can you do your
plug something? Yeah, I gotta plug something. I gotta plug. We got coming up secret show, Coscob comedy show here in Coscob, Connecticut. And then we got two great comedians of the compounds coming up. March 20th, Dojo of Comedy, Aaron Berg, Gino, all the whole crew, Pat, Chrissy. It's gonna be so great. I think John Jameson is on that, maybe. Bobby, I know, is on that. And then we are in, I think, May 14th and 15th. We are in Austin, Texas, Comedians of the Compound. So I mean, just it's gonna be. Wait till I get to Texas. That's where I want the basic training at. So really? I love Texas. I love Texas people. I love country music. So I can't wait to get back. I can't wait to get down there.
I can't wait for the fucking border to open so I can come down there.
Yeah. So listen, listen. I got a guy.
Of course you do. on that note, Larry, this was awesome. Thanks, man.
All right, see you.
See you, buddy.
All right,
bye.